Welcome to the news on Zodiac with me, Chancellor Zabanda. The headlines. New Zodiak chairperson Chakwera to champion industrialization in the bloc as heads of state summit closes in Lilongwe. CSOs in the water and sanitation hygiene sector call on Zodiak heads of state to prioritize investments in wash projects. High Court in Blantyre sets August 25 for judgment in an electoral case for Mangochi-Mankbey constituency. And in sports, Flames head coach Mekemase reacts to AFCON draw that pits Malawi along with Senegal, Guinea and Zimbabwe. We now give you the news in detail. President Lazarus Chakwera has described the Zodiak Heads of State and Government Summit, which has just ended in Lilongwe Wednesday, as constructive and progressive towards achievement of the bloc's economic and development goals. Speaking when he gave his concluding remarks of the summit in his capacity as chairperson, Chakwera called for setting up of productive linkages for structural and industrial transformation. He said this was possible to be achieved in the region because Zodiak was peaceful, secure and stable. Madaritso Pili reports.
That this summit has been constructive and
in his concluding remarks, President Lazarus Chakwera was an oasis of optimism for the region, saying the summit's landmark solutions were the impetus needed to drive the Zodiak regional integration agenda and address the challenges the region is facing. He added that time has come for the region to rebuild and recapacitate its productive resources and fully unleash people entrepreneurial capabilities. But President Chakwera emphasized that the socio-economic transformation needed cannot be achieved without industrialization and digitalization, stressing that in this regard, diversification from raw and unprocessed materials to value-added and manufactured products is a must. On digitalization, he called for e-commerce, e-medicine, among others, to make sure that the region is competitive globally. On the second and closing day of the summit, there was the swearing-in ceremony of Elias Magoso as the new executive secretary for Zodiak, replacing Stekomina Lawrence Tax, who has served 2 terms. The next Zodiak Heads of State and Government Summit is expected to take place in August next year in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. For Zodiac, this is Madaritso Piri reporting.
Meanwhile, CSOs in the water, sanitation and hygiene sector in the Zodiak region have made a call to Zodiak heads of state to prioritize investments in wash projects, arguing that this could help countries quickly recover from COVID-19. Mese Maso Water Aid Country Director made this call in Lilongwe during a Zodiak heads of state side event where various CSOs in the region are holding meetings. Innocent Kunchedwa has filed this report.
As heads of state in the Zodiak region were conducting their summit at BICC in Lilongwe, which has concluded today at Crossroads Hotel, a Zodiak side event was also in session. At this side event, various CSOs representing various stakeholders in the region shared ideas which could help solve some of the common problems. And at one of the breakaway sessions, CSOs in wash sector held a hybrid conference which was both virtual and physical, and they have agreed to produce a communique which will be submitted to the Zodiak leaders for action. The main call that the CSOs have made is that they want Zodiak heads to increase funding towards wash projects. Mese Maso, Water Aid Country Director, says that increasing funding towards water and sanitation and hygiene could help countries recover quickly.
As much as we are talking about economic recovery, we cannot recover economically if we still have challenges with access to good water, sanitation and hygiene.
National Coordinator for Zambia Social Forum Gershom Kabaso Jr. wants people to be fully involved in all activities that involve them. According to current statistics in Malawi, which were presented at this meeting virtually by Dr. Charles Mwansambo, only 13% of the country have access to hand-washing facilities, 83% has safe water, only 13% of the country has access to hand-washing facilities, 83% has safe water supply, and only 46% of the total population is open defecation-free.
The High Court in Blantyre has set August 25 for judgment in an electoral matter in which MCP candidate Gerard Kazembe is challenging the victory of DPP's Raf Juma for the Mangochi-Mankbey constituency. The dispute follows the declaration by the Malawi Electoral Commission MEC of Juma's winner in the 2019 parliamentary poll. This will be the last electoral-related matter to be concluded by the country's courts which have 10 election disputed cases, including the presidential elections case. Alex Banda reports from Blantyre.
The challenge by Gerald Kazembe of Malawi Congress Party against the Malawi Electoral Commission's make declaration of DPP's Raf Joma as winner for the Mangochi Monkey Bay constituency was the first electoral dispute to be filed in the country's courts. A notice of judgment signed by High Court Assistant Registrar Anthony Kapaswiche says presiding judge Jack Lever will deliver his ruling in the Mangochi Monkey Bay matter on Wednesday, 25th August 2021. The statement further says the judgment will be delivered at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Blantyre Registry. The country's courts have heard about 10 electoral dispute cases, including the presidential elections case. Ironically, Kazembe, who was the first to challenge MEC's declaration of the candidate in the 2019 parliamentary poll, will have his fate decided last. Former Transport Minister Raf Joma is still serving as Member of Parliament for the constituency. For Zodiak in Blantyre, this is Alex Banda.
Government has banned fishing activities in 3 rivers in the central and northern regions to contain the outbreak of a fish disease, epizootic ulcerative syndrome, EUS. The 3 rivers are Duangwa, North Rukuru and Bua. The viral disease was first detected in Nchinji, where it has since affected over 800 farmers. Steve Zimba has a report.
The viral disease called epizootic ulcerative syndrome has affected the Bua and the Duangwa rivers in the central region and the North Rukuru River in the northern part of Malawi. The northern region has become the latest part of the country to be hit after samples of the fish from North Rukuru River in Irumpi were sent to Zambia and the results came out positive. Director in the Department of Fisheries, Dr. Hastings Zidana, says currently there is no cause for worry that UES can hit Lake Malawi.
For EUS to survive, there is need for the water to be stagnant, but also the water quality to have like low pH issues are the ones which gives the river to be positive with EUS. So Lake Malawi, these conditions are not favorable for EUS. That's why we are not having Lake Malawi positive survival.
This disease comes at a time when fish farming is booming in Malawi, with the farmers establishing more fish ponds than before in various parts of the country. A grouping of more than 1,000 farmers called Innovative Fish Farmers Network Trust has joined forces to contain further spread of the disease through sensitizations, among other initiatives. Dennis Chinkata Jr. is the program's coordinator at the trust.
There are several points that we have advised farmers. First of all is to avoid catching wild fish and bringing it into their ponds. The second point is to avoid cross-contamination.
Epizootic ulcerative syndrome was first registered in Nchinji, where it has so far affected 800 fish farmers. For Zodiak in Mzozo, this is Steve Zimba reporting.
The Ministry of Agriculture says it's finalizing drafting of the fertilizer regulation bill for tabling in Parliament this November. The ministry's spokesperson, Gresham Lungu, says the bill aims at protecting farmers from unnecessary costs. This is coming at a time fertilizer prices are rising in the country and global market. While hailing the move, agriculture commodity market analyst Horace Peary has tipped government to consider removing tax on fertilizer ingredients, which he says is fueling the hike. Alinafe Mlamba has filed this report.
Amid concerns of rising costs of fertilizer in the country, the Ministry of Agriculture says it is expected to present the fertilizer regulation bill to the August House during the November sitting for legislators to deliberate. The bill, among other things, set up a cap on fertilizer prices so that they are aligned to farm gate prices and also regulate public health and environmental issues surrounding the plant nutrient. Spokesperson for the ministry, Gresham Lungu, has told Zodiak on Wednesday that the ministry is in the final stages of drafting the bill.
We are having 2 or 3 stages which we are supposed to undertake, like getting the bill to the draft bill to the Cabinet Committee on Rico Affairs. Then it also has to be submitted to the full cabinet for approval. So once all these stages are done, automatically the bill will be taken to Parliament.
Agriculture commodity market analyst Horace Peary has tipped government to think beyond the bill by further removing tax on such commodities.
We should be looking at what policy instruments we can put in place to ensure that the prices are fair to the farmers. For instance, we should be looking at how can government work with prices to reduce the price. We can talk things like taxes,
Fertilizer cost in the country has increased with almost 80% from last year's farming season, where it was being sold between 22,000 kwacha to 25,000 kwacha. Currently, local market prices for fertilizer are between 35,000 kwacha to 40,000 kwacha, a development which the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture and Irrigation recently described as exorbitant comparing to prices of the commodity in neighboring countries.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Good news to those staying in Zomba. The most affordable reliable network access is now available in town. Get your access business number today and enjoy the affordable rates. For more information, call 0212 200 200.
Access your world.
We are Charismatic Private School. Charismatic Private School is informing the general public that it is opening day and boarding school at Filipina Memorial School. Charismatic School has kindergarten, primary and secondary school. The school has school buses which ferry learners around Lilongwe. Charismatic School has conducive learning environment suiting your child. Charismatic School is situated at Area 22B and Kapini, while Filipina Memorial Boarding School is situated at Area 23, Benito, Lilongwe. For more information, contact Charismatic School on the following numbers. Charismatic Filipina, creating brighter society.
I choose to be smart. I choose to live a simple and easy life. I choose not to line up to pay my bills. This is why I go digital. Jump the queue. Pay your Lilongwe Water Board bills through mobile banking. Or you can pay through mobile money, as I always do. You can also check your water bill and balance by simply dialing *253#. With digital payments, you can save time and money. Be smart. Pay your bills on time.
Lilongwe Water Board.
Lilongwe Water Board. Portable water all the time for all.
Malawi Assemblies of God University, a reputable university registered and accredited by Malawi government through the National Council for Higher Education, is pleased to announce its August 2021 intake. Programs offered: Faculty of Commerce, Faculty of Education, and Faculty of Theology. For more information, contact 0884 538 163.
Mona Malawi anzanga, nkhondo yogonjetsa COVID-19 ndiye wina aliyense. Tili limodzi. Ine ndinasankha kulandira katemera wa COVID-19 atangoyamba kuperekedwa. Chifukwa monga namwino, moyo wanga, umoyo wa odwala amene ndimawasamalira, abale anga, ndi dera langa, ndi zinthu zomwe ndimazika pa mtima panga kwambiri. Katemera wa COVID-19 anditeteza ine ndi ena omwe analandira katemerayo ku chiopsezo choti tingadwale mwakayakaya, kugonekedwa mchipatala, kapena kutaya moyo wathu chifukwa cha COVID-19. Kulandira katemerayo kutithandiza kuthana ndi muliri wa COVID-19 limodzi.
Ziwani zambiri za katemerayo ndi kupanga chisankho cha nzeru. Sankhani katemera, tetezani tsogolo.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. And Zimbabwe. Moving on with the news, the Center for Human Rights and Rehabilitation, CHRR, is reporting that some people are being turned back from COVID-19 vaccine centers for failure to produce national identity cards. The Human Rights Group's Executive Director, Michael Kayatsa, says this is counterproductive. Kayasa says his organization has received reports to this effect from Rumpi and Karonga districts. We have a report filed by Western Kuta.
The Center for the Human Rights and Rehabilitation, CHRR, has noted that some people are denied access to COVID-19 vaccines and has since described it as a violation of basic health rights. Its executive director, Michael Kayasa, has since appealed to government to quickly intervene by giving a directive so that every Malawian gets the jab. According to Kayasa, there are over 3 million Malawians whose national IDs have expired, meaning many people will not have access to the vaccines against the expectation of the World Health Organization that many people should get vaccinated.
So if the government maintains this policy or this requirement, it means millions of people will be denied access to vaccines. Government should issue a directive to all health centers that are administering the COVID-19 vaccines and make it clear to them that if people do not have national ID, they should not be turned away. They should be assisted because everyone has the right to access these vaccines.
Minister of Homeland Security Richard Chimwendo Banda and Minister of Health Kumbize Kandodo Chiponda have both said they are not aware of the development. The country has already seen a low uptake of the COVID-19 vaccine since 5th March when the first consignment arrived. For Zodiac, I am Western Guta.
A blame game has ensued between the Ministry of Forestry and Natural Resources, Ministry of Finance and the Department of Human Resources Management over the accumulation of huge vacancy rates at the Ministry of Forestry and Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services. While the Ministry of Forestry is attributing the vacancy rate to failure by the Human Resources Department to perform annual functional reviews, the Human Resource Department says this is as a result of the Ministry and the Department of Meteorological Services and Climate Change not updating its database of employees. Chimwemwe Padata reports.
The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change is against a laissez-faire approach to fill vacancies at the Forestry Ministry and Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services. Ministry of Forestry Principal Secretary Yanira Ntubanyama told the committee the vacancy rate now stands at 46% in the ministry, while the rate is at 62% at the Department of Meteorological Services. She says the vacancy rate has been accumulated for over 5 years now, while attributing the situation to failure by the Department of Human Resource Management to conduct functional reviews.
The departments do not make an assessment because the government is very organized. People leave jobs, you have to make an assessment and provide to the Department of Human Resource. And the Department of Human Resource give us a go-ahead to recruit. Approximately probably around 600 million kwacha that is required for the two departments.
But Secretary for Human Resource Management and Development in the Department of Human Resource Management, Blessings Chirabade, puts the blame on ministry's failure to report deaths, resignations and retirements as one factor that has led to the accumulation of the huge vacancy rate. Vice Chairperson for Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change, George Karunga Mirioni, has advised the ministry to avoid finger-pointing but work towards ironing out the glitch.
The Department of Human Resources and Management, as well as the Ministry of Finance, should prioritize filling the vacancies in this Ministry of Forest.
This is Chimwemwe Parata for Zodiac.
Let's now move on to sports. Flames head coach Meke Mwase believes thorough preparations will be key for the team to overcome their opponents in the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon next year. Mwase said this in reaction to last night's draw for the Continental Showpiece in Yaoundé, which has seen his team being drawn in Group B with West African heavyweights Senegal and Guinea as well as Zimbabwe. The Flames mentor says preparations have to start immediately, and the forthcoming World Cup qualifiers in September will also give his charges an edge to be in good shape. Some Banda reports.
Mwase says he is not surprised with the outcome of the draw, as he expected his team to be drawn with any of the heavyweights who were seeded in different pots according to their standings on the world rankings. The winner of each group and their runners-up, as well as the best 4 third-placed teams, will reach the knockout stage, and the Flames tactician says the chance is open for all teams in the group, though he knows the odds appear to favor the continent's top-ranked side Senegal and Guinea due to their statuses. However, Mwase, who became the 3rd local coach to guide the Flames to the continental showpiece after late Henry Moyo in 1984 and Kina Piri in 2010, says enough preparations, which he proposes have to start right away, is the key.
We didn't expect to meet these type of teams, but it's a draw. They are very strong teams. All we need to do is to prepare very well. I believe we can do it. It's just about a week to go now as we start preparing for the World Cup qualifiers, and I believe we're going to use these games for the preparations for the AFCON finals. We're going to sit down with the association to see and map up the way forward, how we can do our preparations.
Soccer analyst George Kaudzamasina says at least the Flames are in a fair group because they have played Guinea and Zimbabwe before, whilst star-studded Senegal need proper homework.
On paper, this is the best Malawi could have bargained for. We have beaten Zimbabwe before. We have played Guinea 6 times, if I'm not wrong. Senegal are miles away, but in football, anything can happen. If you look at this group, this is the best Malawi could have had. We should describe it very fair group.
The 2021 Africa Cup of Nations will run from the 9th of January to 6th February next year in 5 Cameroonian cities of the capital Yaoundé: Douala, Limbi, Bafoussam and Garoua. Algeria are the reigning champions of the Africa Cup of Nations.
And that's about what we had time for in this news edition. But before our website, zodiacmalawi.com, for more news. My name is Chance Mozabanda. Thanks for watching.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until one day, James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the perks of home ground advantage. Get home ground advantage when you get GoTV.